And student athletes, Richard Jr. Sahira Walton and Junior Kennedy Harris. Coach, if you could please start with an opening statement. We'll then open for questions for the student athletes. We'll let them go and then have questions for Coach. Coach, when you're ready.
I thought it was a great game by two powerhouses. It was a slugfest, and I thought both teams really stepped up and competed tonight. I'm really proud of these ladies. 3 games, 3 days. I just think at the end of the day, we did put the ball in the hole the way we needed to, but everything else, I'm just really proud of these ladies. They're still regular season champions, and to get to this point again, somebody had to win and somebody had to learn.
Questions for the student athletes? Go ahead. If we could wait for a mic, but yeah, go ahead.
Daniel Frank from Maytown Hawk. Obviously, disappointing result for you guys today, but can you just speak to the resiliency of this team throughout the year? You had a really hard start to the season, came through in the A-10, won the regular season. Just how proud are you of the resilience of this team?
Like you said, this team has been outstanding. We went through trials, and we've bounced back multiple times. So, I know it hurts right now, but I'm still very proud of this team.
In the back.
Kennedy, I know it's raw, but can you just take us into some of the motions that you're feeling right now? What was the message in the locker room, if you can share?
Just to keep our heads up, we're not done playing basketball. Still got more games we'll be able to play.
In the front.
Building on that, you guys have clinched the automatic bid, the WBIT, which is you guys' second games there in the 3 years in the tournament, which is still a tremendous accomplishment. What do you guys looking forward to the most? Obviously, it's not the outcome you would want it, but still, as you said, more basketball to be played.
Like I said, just keeping our heads up, more basketball. The ball didn't stop bouncing for us this year, so we just got to keep going.
In the back. Maybe one more for the student athletes.
Solid Tech, 3 games in 3 days, and both games, all games were tight to the wire. And I thought you guys, could you guys speak on the intensity of this environment and how these games taught you guys things that you can take with you from the court?
Like Coach said, it's lessons in all of it. Somebody wins and somebody learns lessons. We know how this feels, and we don't want to be back here. So.
Anything else for the student athletes? Great. You all are good to go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Questions for Coach? Let's start in the front again.
Daniel Frank from Maytown Hawk. Coach, I guess similar question that I start with the players. Just the resiliency of this bunch, and you guys had 5-6 start to the season from your non-conference play. To bounce back from that, win the regular season, get all the way to this stage. Just what does that speak about this group?
They're resilient. Like I said yesterday, the non-conference really prepared us for a lot of the scenarios that we were going to see in conference, and they could have put their head down a long time ago. They didn't. They just kept fighting, and they had a great regular season run, 16-2, nothing to hold your head down about.
In the back.
Coach, what changed from the first quarter to the other 3 schematically? And what did Rhode Island do on defense to stifle you guys after that?
Yeah, I just think defensively we were over-helping a little bit, and then that's why we changed defenses and went to a zone, which caused them a lot of trouble. But at that point, it was tough for us to put the ball in the hole, but we were getting the stops that we wanted.
Up front, and then in the back.
Vanessa Zachwitz at Atlantic10.com. You had the opportunity to see them before. What changes were you looking to implement from that? And just if you could explain that resiliency and stick-to-itiveness for how far along you've come since.
Yeah, I think the first game, the time we saw them, the guards really had a day. They were able to get downhill, and we weren't offering a lot of resistance. But today I thought we were in the gaps where we needed to be. I just think you look at the stat sheet, it came down to scoring, and that was similar to the first game we played, just not being able to, it was tough to win a game shooting 32%, and that's just, where we were. I thought we took, I would live and die with the shots that we took. Those are the shots they make 100% of the time, but today they just didn't connect.
One in the back and then one in the green. And then
Hey, Coach, Jake Brown,
Reach out.
ABC News Now. I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but how proud are you of this team for, you already kind of talked about the hole you guys were at the beginning of the season, 16-2 in conference, get to the championship game 2 years in a row. So how proud are you of this group of women?
I'm really proud. You know, we have a verse, Ephesians 3:20, that says, "Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly above all that we can ever ask, think, or imagine." You know, and that's what this season was, above all that we could ask, think, or imagine. They kept reaching, they kept striving. And it's one game, right? It's one game. Everybody around the country is going to play a tournament 3-4 days in a row, but it doesn't take away the fact that everything we asked, thought, or imagined, we were able to receive, and we still have more to go.
green and then front, and then we're last question, and after that, that's it.
Coach, talking about the journey up to this game and before the season, the mantra, basically, how do you think, even if the outcome didn't turn out the way that you guys would have wanted, getting to this point again a year after you guys won the championship, how does that show exponential growth moving forward?
Yeah, I don't think exponential growth means that you're going to win every time. I think that you allow yourself to stretch, to want to grow. You know, that's where the exponential growth can begin. If you never want to stretch, then you'll never grow. And this team did that. You know, so yes, this is not the outcome that we wanted, but there was exponential growth. Our players did an amazing job, not just on the court, but a 3.5 GPA. We wanted to grow there too, and we did that as well. And they grew as human beings. So I'm really confident and very proud of these young women that are going to graduate from this program and know what exponential growth looks like in life. That's who we're coaching. We're coaching the next leaders. They just lost a game tonight, but they're still our next leaders.
As mentioned before, you guys have clinched the berth in the WBIT, which is a tournament you guys certainly have a lot of potential to make some noise in. Just how do you get this group back together after this loss, and what are you looking forward to most moving forward with them?
Yeah, I just think you let them feel what they feel. You know, it's tough right now, and get a couple of days off, and, you know, they're a group that wants to keep playing, and, you know, the blessing is there are a lot of teams that don't have any more games to play. We still have games to play, you know, and that's the joy in it right now. And like I said, they're young. They're going to feel what they feel. I think the coaching staff, everybody is. Will, you spend 30-some games to get to this point. Like, it's going to hurt. And if you care, it should hurt. But then we'll get back on that horse, and then we'll go win the next championship.
One more, and then we're done. Sorry.
Yeah, on the WNIT, unlike some other years, there hasn't really been what they call big stealing. And this conference used to send 3 and 4 regularly, and so the guys wish will not do it again this year. So, you know, what's your case when the NCAA is watching today?
You know, I just think, you know, with Charlie Cream and the rest of them, that this conference has repeatedly shown that there should be more than one team in this league. We are better than a one-bid league. And you look at us, and you look at Richmond, and you look at Rhode Island. Who wouldn't want to watch games like that? You know, and so, you know, hopefully we still get a look. The body of work speaks for itself, and the consistency of the body of work speaks for itself in us, in Richmond, you know, and in programs like Rhode Island.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
No, this is about to be off the chain. Come on now. This is a party now. Here we go.
All right, we're joined by Rhode Island head coach Tammy Reese, student athletes Palmyra Imbu and Brooklyn Gray. We're going to start with a statement from coach, then we'll open up the floor for student athlete questions, let them go, and then have questions for coach. Just remember to raise your hands and we'll pass along a mic when it's your turn. Coach, when you're ready.
I'm going to start this off by giving credit to Vanessa and her squad. I knew this game was going to be a drag-out, knockout war. And what they've done this year is so impressive. The top three teams in the league, obviously, Richmond, us, and George Mason, but how she's turned that program around and those kids, the way they play. So, again, my hat tips off to George Mason and them making to the championship game. But today it was about Rhode Island. And a second half team like we were yesterday. I have never been prouder of a group coming out of halftime because I'll tell you what, we didn't start the game with any discipline. We turned the ball over. That's a key for us. We weren't rebounding. That's another key for us. We weren't defending properly. And so we really went in and just settled them down a little bit. I think George Mason had a little bit more composure. They've been here. They actually won last year. And then our team, we had to remind them who you are and what you do. And they came out of halftime and just executed, especially defensively. And we got the ball to where we needed it to go, and we started scoring. And all day today, I woke up, I went to bed last night praying, I woke up this morning praying, but all I wanted was for this group to win the championship. That's it. I could care less. If I got fired tomorrow, I could care less. All I wanted was these student athletes to feel what it felt like for confetti to come down and achieve their last goal. And I swear I was going to sell my soul to the devil to make that happen. And so I couldn't be any happier for our student athletes, for our university. This is the first championship, A10 tourney championship in 50 years. 50 years. It's the 30th anniversary of a team at URI going dancing. 30-year anniversary, and we were celebrating that all year. So I think the heavens above had something to do with that. It was good luck, but again, never prouder of a group of young, unselfish women to cap it off with another championship, the final 2 goals, and go dancing. We hit every goal this year, and I have never been prouder, and I love my team.
Thanks, Coach. Questions for the student athletes? We'll start in the front and then Bob in the back there in the middle.
Natalie Hebron of the Night Basketball. I asked you this after the regular season championship, but for both of you, what does it feel like to be A10 champions?
Okay. I mean, it felt great. Like Coach said, it was our goal, and I feel like as a team, even though we won last week, we kind of feel like the job was unfinished because we were co-champions, and like today was our game to prove that we're the real champions. So just feel great.
I feel it's a big weight off my shoulders. You know, to be when the buzzer had rang, and, you know, everybody started cheering. It felt so surreal. Like, I'm like, we really won. Like it was really crazy. But just to go through this year, so much learning, so much adjusting, so much adversity, and to come out on top when we weren't even picked to win the tournament. As number 1 seed, we weren't even picked to win. So just, you know, going through it with these women and, you know, just finding a way to come on top every single time has been an amazing experience. So that's really kind of just went through my mind, like the whole year, the whole journey when, you know, that buzzer rang 0.
Question from Bob.
For the players, each of the 3 games came out in the second half strong. What really happened at Fox Lights?
Y'all better start acting right. No, but I mean, you know, it's just a lot of adjusting, you know, getting a feel for the game. You know, that's something that we obviously want to work on going into the tournament is having a better first half, but our second half is phenomenal. And I feel, you know, ever since our Princeton loss, that's something that's been something that we've worked on because we went into the Princeton game talking about their fourth quarter team. They come out in the fourth quarter and they kill, and that's what they did to us. And ever since then, we went on that run, so I feel like it was just honing in, you know, how to finish games strong and how to finish games together.
blue here, and then
Charlie, that was a good 5 cents ago. Brooklyn in the third quarter, you went down, favoring your ankle, and then came out for a second, came back in, and at the end of the game, had a big bucket at the late stages. Just how do you feel physically, and how are you able to just kind of power through to finish off strong?
If I'm being completely honest, something happened yesterday where Sophie fell, she got hurt, and somebody on the bench was like, "Oh, do you need a break?" And Tammy was like, "Nah, you tough, you got heart, you don't need a break. You need to be in this game, and you gonna get through it." And I feel like that was a lot of what was flowing through my mind because I broke my ankle plenty of times. I sprained my ankle a few times, missed some games, but this was an important moment for me and my team, and I knew that if it's something I could push through, then I would do that. So.
here and then there.
Chris Powell, Couch Coach Live. Congratulations, ladies. Brooklyn, what were your overall thoughts the team is scoring today? Just talk about your second half and just that aggressiveness and being able to get to the cup.
I would say doing better with, adjusting to their defense, reading their defense. We knew they were very aggressive, so we wanted to be able to attack that, but not in a way that was, all over the place, but in a way that, we showed our IQ. And, yeah, I feel like we just found a way to execute against their zone. They try to put a zone on us to slow us down, but, we're just a team that finds a way to get it done. So, just kind of honing in more on our smarts and being able to figure out a way, because there's always a way through something. So just being able to figure that out.
Up front.
Ladies, Zach White, oh, here we go. You're good, Zach White's Atlantic TED.com. You talk about hearts and souls of programs, and Inez, just to be able to be a Rhode Ram for 4 years and just to have this accomplishment, just how special is it, not just celebrating a teammate, but celebrating what she's been able to bring with this program?
Can you repeat that?
Just what it means, Inez, being here 4 years and being able to do this for each other, but also do this for someone that was so loyal and had so much heart with this program.
I think playing with Ines she's just a great leader, and she just grew into this role so much for 4 years. And the 2 years that I played with her, it's been great to see her grow as a player and as a woman. And I think I'm just very happy for her. She gets to go to March Madness after 4 years of doing great with our program, and she just done so much. Everybody knows her. Everybody is just so grateful for her. So I'm very happy for her.
Can I speak on that one as well? I would just say Inez is one of those people, if she sets her mind to something, she's going to accomplish it. She is so hardworking, and I would say she's our core. She hustles off every play. We do sometimes she gets frustrated, but, as a team, she's growing in that area. She's been growing in that area this entire season, but she's one of those people that is going to give her all in everything she does. So just having a leader like that, a senior, a staple, she is a very, very, very big reason as to why we won this game today. So, yeah.
Last question for the student athletes here in the front.
Can you both talk about, how much the fans have impacted or how much they've brought in this run, and also what it means to you to have Tammy's parents, going around hugging everyone and treating you all like your own children. I know Ed was taking videos of all of you up on the ladder, cutting the net.
You're on a first-name basis with my dad now? Yeah, I like it.
It's amazing, all the fans we have here. I was very surprised, but it's just what it is at Rhode Island. I think the fans are always here. They've been here last year when we were losing, and they're still here this year. So it just means so much because they're always here for us. And even if we were playing here in Virginia, it felt like we were home. It was just so many people in the stands, and they were so loud. It felt great. And I'm happy that we did that today for them too, because they're just so committed.
Yeah, I would say our fans are like none other. They show up everywhere. We see them, they at the hotel cheering us on before we come to the game. But it's just, you just know it's genuine. You know it's love and it's real, support there. And you don't always get that in, not even just certain programs, but in women's basketball. You don't always get that type of genuine love and show and support and care for, women. So it's always appreciated, it's always supported, and, we love y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You
you
guys are
guys,
clear to-
great job.
Thank you.
Now we can start with questions. We'll start with Mel here in the front. Just work our way around.
You're not bad luck this year, Mel.
He's when she comes to do. As one who could talk history, you guys got it going at Virginia, you on the player side, how do you compare the two?
It's different as a coach. When you're a player, you control the game. And I've always said players win games. And so winning that first one at Virginia was so special. It's why we all went to Virginia. They had never won one. We wanted to be the first. We didn't want to be another horse in the stable. And so, Dawn and I both went there for that reason and to get to Final Fours. But as a player, it's just absolutely fulfilling of all the hard work you do throughout your course of your career. And Brooklyn said it best. Everything flashes through your mind, all those 6 a.m. track workouts and the brutal coaches sprinting us and running us on 17s, and everything flashes when suddenly the buzzer goes off. It is surreal. As a coach, I don't think about myself at all. All I thought about was them. And I told you that's all I cared about, was for them to have that feeling, because I know what it feels like as a player to cut down nets and to win a championship. So as a coach, it's completely different. It's like a mother. All you want your child to do is succeed, and that's what it felt like, and it was so fulfilling, but in a different way.
Here in the front. We'll just work down the line here.
Natalie Govern with Rhode basketball. First, unrelated to the two-part question, you're the first coach I've seen bring in the game ball. Why did you bring in the game ball and set it up so nicely on the table?
Someone threw the game ball at me and said, "Don't forget the game ball." And I said, "Oh, I won't forget the game ball. I'll carry this around. This is going up in my office." So I just got lucky, and someone put it in my hands, and I said, "All right, I'll take it." And then I never put it down. It's going to stay with me, and it's going to go home with me. So again, and then I put it on the table because it's the championship ball.
I think I saw you leap over a chair to go see your dad and give him a hug. How successful was that leap, and what does it mean to celebrate this with your parents who are always on the sideline cheering you on?
First, you need, everyone knows, a coach, your support staff, your family, your friends, they're everything. There's a lot of hard times, a lot of good times, but there's some tough times as a coach. When we lost in the championship to Richmond, that's your rock. That's who you are. And you always see my dad because he's the front man, and you'll see my mom occasionally, but you never see my partner. And without her, I couldn't do any of this. And so her name happens to be Crystal Reese, but it's spelled differently. It is not R-E-I-S-S, it's R-E-E-S. And that's my rock. That enables me to do what I do. She takes care of the house, she takes care of the dogs, takes care of my parents, which is not an easy task. And so your family and your health are the only two things you truly have in this lifetime. And so my parents are basketball parents, and we all know what they are. They don't miss a game. They don't miss anything. And I want to spend as much time humanly possible with my family. And so to have them celebrate your big wins, and they're also there for a shoulder to cry on when you have those huge losses. So family is everything, and I love my family and friends.
And my follow-up to that, what does it mean to you to have your parents and Crystal hugging your players and the coaches and making their way around celebrating like the players are their own kids, and your dad taking videos of every single person that steps up on that ladder?
They love our team. Now, Crystal, she's the team mom. I'm not the home baker or maker. I can't cook. She did their team bags. She does all our parties at our house. She takes care of everything. She does the senior gifts. When I mean she does everything for them. Cupcakes on everyone's birthday. That's what your partner does. They take care of your team. And so, Usually it's men coaches and their wives are take care of the team, so it just happens to be my partner. And, she takes care of the girls. Like I say, I have 14 children because I don't have any children. I have 2 dogs. They're my fur babies, but those are my kids. And I treat every single one of them like that. Like, after they graduate, how am I going to take care of them? Where are they going to go? So, it's really important. And our university knows that's the Rhode family. And so to have everybody like that, and you see our administrators, you see our practice guys on the floor, you see our managers, you see everybody a part. That's what makes Rhode Island special. It's why I love being there. I really do. It's a family environment, and they love us and we love them. So it's just really special.
Tammy, Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. Same question that I asked the ladies. Just obviously, you've had 4 years and the opportunity to coach Inez. Just how special has she been to this family, and how special is this moment looking at it through her lens?
I say this all the time. With the new landscape of college athletics, you're lucky to keep a kid 4 years, maybe 3, and then that last year, if they can go bigger and better. I heard it today in the Louisville game with Ziegler, gave 3 to St. Joe's and went bigger and better to play in this moment. It's hard now. It really is. So to have players stay committed for 4 years, I was so proud of Inez, number one, and number two, to retain the culture. She knows how we do things. She was a part of our first championship. So when we brought in Brooklyn and Vanessa and Tavi, and she knew the standard, and she held them to that standard. That's why Brooklyn said, Inez goes 100 in everything she does. That's how we do it at Rhode Island. And so to have your culture set with a core is invaluable. And she's our leader, really behind the scenes, in the locker room, off the court, in the classroom. Everything she does represents our culture. And so it was imperative that we retain her. It really was, for so many reasons off the court, because of her leadership capabilities. So, I'm just so thankful I've got the opportunity to coach her. Gave her bookend championships. She gave us one her freshman year, and the better one her senior year. She gave 2 to our university. And so my hat's off to Inez, just an amazing young woman.
I have a question for Bob in the back, and we'll work down the second row.
Bob Flynn with Rhode. You touched on it a little bit, but you've cut down nets as a player, as an assistant coach. This is your first time as a head coach. How do they compare?
The first one as a player is really, really special. It just is. From a standpoint of it kind of caps off your journey and your hard work. Like, I'm a goal setter, so my goals, I had 150 of them in the 6th grade, and I wrote them out. And one of them was first high school championship, cut down the nets, we did it. ACC championship, and we went 0 for club in the Final Four, but that was our goal. But as a player, when you do it, all the hard work, that countless hours of everything you do, it's so satisfying. I cannot even begin to tell you. It really is. And again, as a coach, it's different. The first one feels so good. This one is special because it's never been done at our school. You can only be the first once. You can only be the first once. That's what I told them. You've done something in 50 years that no one else has ever done. That's incredible. That feels pretty special. I'm very happy for our school. But again, not so much for myself, but for them. I'm so ecstatic for them that they cut down those nets. They got that goal. Because I know what it's like to be a 5-year-old and pick up the ball the first time out on the asphalt courts. Well, they don't play it on asphalt. They play in air-conditioned gyms. But with your trainer or your high school coach and all the AAU tournaments and lugging them around and all the strength and the track workouts, I know what it feels like. So it's to give them that feeling, it's just different. I just care about them. I could care less about me. I'm really, really happy, genuinely happy for them and our university. We wanted to put Rhode Island on the map. When I came to Rhode Island, the goal was to become a championship program, to vie for one every year. It's easy to get there once, sometimes twice, but sustained excellence, I don't think people understand how hard it is. In this landscape now, it's completely different. It's really hard. So for 7 years, we've been fighting. We've been there. We've been top 4, top 5. After last season, it felt like we took a step back, and then all of a sudden, here we come. So this one is extremely satisfying because it's the first and the only. And I get to give them that feeling, and they get to go dancing.
Here in the middle, in the back.
Daniel Frank with May 10 Talk. Coach, congratulations.
Thanks, Daniel.
Not lost in all of this pregame was talking to George Mason going back to back, and yet it's Tavion Habib who gets to go back to back with coming from George Mason to your program. How much did she mean to you guys this season? What was her role with you guys this season? And just her getting big minutes today in the championship game?
You know, Tavi, we really focused on Tavi. First of all, I love in-conference transfers. I really do, because they know the landscape, they know the scouts, they know the A-10 inside and out. And I've also been watching them for a very long time. So I've got a really good handle on their character. Basketball's easy. Their character and what they're going to act like and be like when they come a part of our culture. So Tavi and Val were brought in to really spread the floor, shoot. Tavi, offensive rebounder. It's the two things she does really well. And defend. She can be a really, really good, tough defender. And so her role changed a little bit when she came in. You know, no one foresaw Vanessa Harris being so good so quickly. We just didn't. And I didn't foresee, well, I did in the summer. Inez really worked on her game at the 2 guard, improved her shooting, her ability. To have 2 point guards on the floor together was imperative for us, especially our pace and our defensive capabilities. Inez is our defensive stopper. So it kind of hindered Tavi's minutes a little bit, and that happens sometimes. And again, because of her character, not one time did she ever pout. Not one time. We had meetings. Coach, what can I do to be better? Never, a parent never called. All she cared about was winning. What can I do to be better for the team and to win? Although her role changed drastically. That's why I like kids I know. Character. That they don't come in and suddenly it's a cancer to your program, or it's the me over the we. And she is, and when I mean an unselfish, just a great kid. We also brought her in for her personality. Kids unbelievably funny, crazy, giving, loving. She got voted best gift giver on the team because she is. She's compassionate, she's kind, and she's caring. And so even though it's not going for her, she'll give to everybody else. And Val's the same way. And so it was a really, really good fit. And I know both of those young women didn't get the minutes they wanted, but they both in certain games came up huge, because at George Mason, Tavi came up big. Had 9 points. She came up huge. It's the reason we won the game. And so you'll always have that moment. And I told her, just be ready. You never know. She didn't play in the first 2 games here, and then she goes in against George Mason. You just never know. And we won a championship because of the character of our young women. And that's why we brought her in.
Here and I think that's probably it. Oh, one more, sorry.
Charlie Adams, good 5 cents a guard. Coach, you've talked about this team's personality and the fun group that they are to be around. Being able to take that team to the March Madness stage, how excited are you for that? And also, on the March Madness stage, you'll have the chance to face off against some top programs that I'm sure you have a lot of respect for. Are there any in your mind that you would really want to see Rhode Island face off against?
The first thing is I want to represent, listen, we're going to celebrate this. We're going to celebrate this championship. We're going to celebrate going to the big dance, and we're going to have a lot of fun. However, we want to represent the A-10, and we want to go in and we want to win a game or 2 or 3. You want to go in and you want to represent your league to the best of your abilities, and you want to be competitive. It's so hard for mid-majors to get any credit. The last thing you want to do is beg to get into March Madness and then get beat by 50. You don't want that as a player or a coach. You want to go in and you want to represent the A-10, your university, and you want to have a great showing on that stage and win a game or 2. And so Richmond did it last year. They put everyone on notice with the A-10 of how good our teams are in this league. And so hopefully we get 2 in. I'm going to fight. I believe Richmond should be in. They've shown what they can do. They really have. And so I think we're a two-bid league. I really do. And so I pray that they get in. The job Aaron's done, and to put Maggie Dugan back on that stage, we need a little bit more of Maggie Dugan in the postseason. We just do. We deserve it in March Madness. So we want to go in. I want my kids to enjoy it. We're going to have fun, but we're going to be competitive. We're going to prepare, and we're going out to win a game. The first game, it's one game at a time.
Here in the back, and then last one over there.
Chris Powell, Couch Coach Live. Congratulations on the win, Coach. Kind of to piggyback on the previous question, how will next week look as you await your NCAA tournament opponent?
You know, we'll have a couple days off after this, 2 days off. I'm going to give the girls, and they're going to really take care of their bodies, and we'll prep them and get them back. Then it's all business. We'll go back to probably 2 practices, take another day off, 2 more, and then we'll know our opponent on Sunday after we practice. Then starts the coaches all night long. Lots of coffee, lots of Red Bull, and we get prepared. And now we have our kids, prepped and ready the next morning for scout and what we need to do. So we have our tentative plan. Again, this is our first time, so I wanted to make sure we were ready. We kind of spoke it into fruition. This is the plan we're going to do. These are the days off we're going to take after we win the A10 tournament championship. So we're prepared with that, and the coaches, my assistant coaches, will do an amazing job with whoever the opponent is. It'd be funny if we got to play South Carolina. We'll have to have a really, really good game plan, but, I get to see my buddy Dawn, but whoever we play, we're just thankful that we're able to go dancing. We really are, and we'll take anybody. It doesn't matter, the nameless, faceless. We just wanted to go dancing. Debbie, probably Dawn. That was her favorite. Dawn would say me, because I was Debbie's favorite.
Last one here in the back, Coach.
All right, Coach Tammy, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you have briefly brought up the loss 2 years ago to Richmond. How did you mentally bounce back from it? Like with the roster changes, the atmosphere changes, the hard loss in the championship. How did you manage to bounce back with just all of this stuff that's happening, one after another?
I think Brooklyn said it best. A loss is meaningless, if you don't learn from it. And after that Richmond loss, I said it yesterday in the press conference, I tried to get a little cute. I changed things in the game. It wasn't my players' fault. I felt like it was my fault. We didn't shoot the ball well, obviously, but I really analyzed how we prepared that season for peaking, and we just didn't. We had a good tournament run, but there were a lot of things after that season that we sat down as a staff and really assessed and evaluated. And, that loss, sometimes you have to have hard times. Not everything is going to be unicorn and rainbows. And that loss, it really hit me hard, because it wasn't just a loss. We just weren't competitive. That was a ASS whooping. And that hurt the most, that I didn't have my team ready to compete, not win the game, just compete. And so we really assessed and sat back on how we were going to prepare for the tournament, really the way we designed practices, things of that nature, how I substituted. But the biggest thing, and I'll say it again, that year is our culture caught up to us in that game. It really did. Some of our kids didn't play as hard as they should have. There was a little bit of a we and not the me that year. It wasn't as strong as of a culture as this team. This team, like Brooklyn said, she said it best. They find a way to win for each other. They just find a way. It's not all my coaching. You got to have players to win games, and they make the plays. And they did that. But it starts with their character. And they show up and they give you everything they had. And I told them today, win, lose, or draw, I love them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The sun will rise tomorrow and we will get through it. But they refuse to lose today.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Go Rhode!